Hello, I am the architecture librarian, Sarah Montino. On the screen here, you can see my contact information, and that is actually the phone number to my desk. So if you need to reach me, call that number. I will be the one to answer it. So you're going to ask yourself, why are we here today? So I am actually here to let you guys in on one of the best kept secrets in all of OSU, and that is the architecture library, the room that I am sitting in right now. That is in your building across from the hall where you normally have this class. And you may not know, but there are only 3 disciplines on this campus that have their own dedicated library. There is the Vet Med College, the College of Education, and us. Of course, there's the main library, but this architecture library is geared for you, and it has resources that are only about architecture. And of course, it's in your building. So while you're having to spend so much time in this building because it is such an intense program, come on down to the library. So the main purpose of this presentation today is I want you to know what the value is of this library to you. I want you to figure out why you should use our library and how this library can help you be the most successful architecture student that you can be. So I don't know how many people have been in the library so far this year. By the end of the week, it's going to be all of you, 100% people that are watching this. But if not, let's go ahead and watch a very short trailer of what the inside of the library looks like. All right, and again, that was a video about your architecture library. So in this course, you have been exploring the profession of architecture. So today, I'm going to be your guide giving you a broad overview of some of the information that architects and engineers must know and use in their professional lives. So before I get to that, let's talk a little bit more in general about the library's place in the information landscape. So if you heard of the deep web, not the dark web, the deep web. Um, anyhow, yeah. So the computer scientists who coined the phrase deep web compare searching the internet to skimming a net across the surface of the ocean. So yeah, you're going to get a bunch of stuff, right? But the really good stuff is what is deep down. That's the stuff that Google can't find for you. So they believe that the deep web is exponentially larger than the internet or than the surface web. Some estimates say that only 20% of the internet that we access is the surface web. Like that's it. We're just seeing 20% of the internet compared to 80% of the internet actually being down there in the deep web. That's one of those things that I don't really think a whole lot about, kind of like the universe and like how big it is and what all it's doing out there. Instead, I just focus on what I'm supposed to be doing. Kind of like, in this case, finding the most relevant information in the deep web. Not going to think about how much there is, just that I need to get some good stuff from it. So the information that's available through university libraries is what is part of the deep web. So you've probably heard of the term paywall, right? You're on the internet, you go to click an article from the New York Times or the Washington Post or whatever, and oh, you can't because you're not a subscriber. And so you get blocked. It's a paywall, right? So OSU eradicates all those paywalls for you. And the library subscribes to hundreds of specialized databases. We're footing the bill to the publishers and the content providers so that they can continue to produce high quality content and information for you. So you'll just use your Oki account information, and that gives you access to an unimaginable amount of quality data and information. So we've been talking about the big picture of library access. Let's bring it back down a little closer to home and talk about how the architecture library fits into your design process as a student. So, as you can see by this graphic, your ARC library fits in very nicely in several places. After you've defined the problem, step one, um, you can, excuse me, after you define the problem, you can then come and collect your information either physically by coming to the stacks or by using one of those online databases that you'll be watching a video here to help you figure out how to do that. The library, again, is conveniently located in your building, so it also has ample space and it's comfortable. So it's a great space for you to work, analyzing your data, or even better, collaborating with your classmates to develop those solutions. And of course, we know that the design process is a constant reevaluation, and we want to look at our results and see what needs to change, what needs to be improved. So come on back to the library, get some more of that information, and just continue the process. Again, at the library that's in your building. So this is a linear view of the design process. As you can see, again, where the library fits in, researching your vocabulary, materiality, precedents, standards, yada, 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 on its way to designing a solution. So learning a new discipline is like learning a new language. In order to master the foundation of architecture, you must first master the basic building blocks of its language, the definitions, the function, and usage. Um, as you explore the profession of architecture, you are being exposed to so many new words, ideas, and history and theory. It's a lot. At the same time, you are developing a visual vocabulary. As you progress through the program, you'll start to instantly recognize buildings and the architects who designed them. That's when you're going to start to become an expert in the field. It's pretty exciting. You'll be learning the properties of all sorts of materials and how they are used in actual products. You have your wood, brick, steel, stone, glass, and even plants. Anything. You can build anything out of anything anymore. Y'all are going to do amazing things. So, architecture is about solving problems. Architects don't reinvent the wheel. Okay, they improve upon the wheel. So here's an example of precedent research. Does any of this look familiar? Okay, the bottom one should look familiar. That's the building you go to most days of the week. So precedent means what comes before. On the bottom, you see our School of Architecture. In the very early planning stages, the architects for our building used the project on top, a Roman temple in France, flanked by a contemporary art museum. Goodness gracious, sorry. It was designed by architect Norman Foster, which is a name that should be familiar because it is on your assignment list. Anywho, his work was used as a precedent for combining an original building site with new parts of an old building. So, precedent research is not just about style or appearance, it is a way for architects to solve problems without starting from scratch. So, we talked about the library as a hub for accessing the deep web, where it fits into the creation design process, growing your visual vocabulary, etc. But it also holds value for your professional future. So, here's a picture of some recent grads returning for our annual career fair as recruiters. This is just a little friendly note. Um, be sure to be kind and respectful to your classmates because you never know who may be in the position to offer you a job or not, depending on your past relationship working together. Anyways, kindness matters, y'all. So, when it comes time for you to search for a job or an internship, the library has resources to help. We have job tools, resume writing, space for virtual interviews. It's a great space. So let's come on back to searching for the basics, or excuse me, learning the basics for completing a library search, because we want to get those databases again. So there's a video we're getting ready to watch, very short. It's going to walk you through the process of how to do a really good search on the database. I also want to stop here for a second and point out the importance of signing in with your OKey account information, even if you are on campus. This little icon right here, this thumbtack, this is going to be your best friend when you're doing research. You can set up folders, and so when you've returned a search of 876 results, as you're skimming through, if you think it's something that would be relevant to your project or paper, click the thumbtack and it automatically saves it for you. Once again, you got to be signed in though to use that. Well, you don't have to be signed in to use it, but as soon as you close that web page, it's gone. But using the thumbtack, you can create as many folders. So if you've got a multitude of projects going on, not unlike the multiverse, a multitude of projects going on, you can have a folder for each project, and that way all your resources are together, and it's going to make your life better. Make use of it.
At Oklahoma State University's Edmund Lowe Library, you have millions of resources available at your fingertips. The library's search system allows you to look for print and electronic books, articles from journals, physical items on the shelves, magazines, newspapers, videos, and much more. It will also search through various digital databases that cover a wide range of topics and subjects. By going to the library's website, you can access the search box right from the homepage. Simply enter your prepared search terms in the search box. Figuring out a good set of search terms is vital if you want to get back useful results. You should use precise and concise key terms that are not stated as a question or full sentence. Let's try college student athletes. The more targeted your search terms, the fewer results you'll get. That returned over 100,000 results. Let's try to get more specific and type in undergraduate student athletes. The results you get will be differentiated by resource type. It's normal for it to take a few tries before you can narrow in on just what you're looking for, so don't feel bad if you have to keep trying different synonyms or related words. Since that returned over 34,000 results, let's try undergraduate student athletes LGBT. That returned around 800 results. You can also quickly limit your search to books and media, journals, or course reserves by clicking the drop-down arrow to the right of the search box. You can further narrow down your results depending on your preferences, such as by availability, resource type, creation date, subject, author or creator, collection, language, journal title, and classification. Additionally, it's helpful to remember that if you are off campus, you can access the full range of on-campus online library tools, such as databases and library search, by logging in using your OKey account information. If you want to make your search more specific, you can use the Advanced Search option. Here, you can use the Advanced Library Search tool to look for resources that match specific parameters that you set, such as where in the resource a search term should be located and how closely it should match what you enter. Use the and, or, and not cells to clarify if additional words should be included or as a substitute for another term. Let's enter the following options to make our search even more specific. And, any field, contains, football. We now have around 300 results. Other advanced options include material type, language, and publication. Now that you understand how to use the library search, you may be wondering, when should I use it? Well, there is no one correct answer, but there are a few rules of thumb you can follow. The library search is a good option if you're unsure of which database to use, or if you are just getting started and have no idea what has been written about your topic. In the library search, you have the ability to look at multiple types of sources simultaneously, which is great if you need more than one source type, like a book and a journal article. Additionally, it is useful if you are prepared with specific identifying information, such as a unique title or author.
The library has its own dedicated YouTube page, so you can go there to get more videos on how to do some great searching. Also, some other tech information, good stuff like that, some writing resources. And here again is the homepage for the library. There's the search bar. To get to our webpage, because we do have our own, the Architecture Library has its own webpage, you can go here to About the Library, and then it's nested under there, Architecture Library. All right, let's talk about your assignment. That is why we're here. All right, so because this class is so big, there's 2 sections, and you guys have a limited amount of time to get this project completed, we've gone ahead and pulled books for you. There they are. They're in the back corner. They're organized by architect. You can either walk on back there yourself, or you can stop by the desk and one of our lovely library assistants can help you, because they're a super friendly bunch. They really are. Also, I do want to make sure that you guys are considering using the databases for those online journals and periodicals, because the way information is published, books take a while, right? But journals and periodicals don't take as much time. So they are often where you're going to find the most up-to-date information about any given topic. So go ahead, use that database like you just watched the video. And finally, because this class is fundamental and a requirement of your program, we've created a LibGuide just for this class. A LibGuide, if you've never heard of it, it's an online space dedicated to resources on a specific topic. So this is an ARC 1112 LibGuide. So to get there, you're going to navigate by going to the library.okstate.edu architecture-library. I'm going to click it, and here we are. So right now things are changing. The outgoing librarian stuff is getting swapped over, and I'm taking over things. And so right now this library guides link is not routing correctly. So I'm going to go back. But normally that's where you're going to find all your good information, these library guides. But for now, I'm just going to click on my name, and it's going to take you to all 231 LibGuides that exist at Oklahoma State Library. Good news for us, architecture starts with the letter A. So we're just going to scroll down to ARC 1112, and I'm going to click Introduction to Architecture. So we talked about learning a new vocabulary, those foundation and building blocks of a new discipline. So we've got some books to help you with the terminology. Here's a set of resources to help with architects, like this week's resource or this week's assignment: Architect Finder, Architects USA, different firms. Um, Here are some biographies, and there's some, most likely the architects you're looking at will have some blurbs in there for you to look at. Here are more books geared towards your 50 architects you should know, Talking Architects, Interviews with Architects. Ooh, that'd be a great place to get some good quotes. And of course, here is another handy dandy Oklahoma State Library YouTube video for you to make sure you know how to work on finding good sources. Journals, again, your most relevant, up to date, current information is going to be found in journals. Great ones geared just for you guys as architecture students is going to be Art and Architecture Complete. That's a database to get you the best architecture information. Same with the Avery Index to architectural periodicals. Once again, this is all stuff geared just for architectural students. It's just for you. It's so perfect. We have some DVDs. If you don't have a DVD player or a gaming system or whatever, and you want to watch one of these DVDs, like here's Daniel Libeskind. He is one of the one of the architects on your list, and you can watch a video, get some information about him there. Of course, Frank Gehry. Oh, Mr. Foster, the guy who we used our precedent research to get our beautiful building. And here's citation style. You want to make sure you're doing everything correctly. You will get marked off for incorrect formatting. It's a thing. And then finally, if you are going to the surface web to get any information, you want to make sure that you're still getting um, information from authoritative service or sources. And so here is a one sheet just to explain what to look for to evaluate whether or not you're looking at trash. You can use Wikipedia to start, but don't continue with Wikipedia. And I'm sure y'all know that by now. I'm sure you do. All right. Okay. So, in summation, along with the studio and the classroom, we at the library, Architecture Library, we aim to be your third place. It's not your classroom. It's not your dorm room, apartment. It's not your work. It is instead a third space. It's a space that you can just be without an expectation of spending money. And we want you to be here. We want you to spend time here as long as you want. This is a great place to study. It's a great place to just hang out between classes. You can bring your drinks, your food. Just please make sure you got a lid. And again, and it's comfy. And as Professor Bill Beasy says, we hope that you will use the library for enjoyment because it is here for you. All right. Here is my contact information. Please, 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 please do not hesitate to call or email with me. Email with any or questions. At the left of your screen, those are the hours of the library. That's the phone number to the front desk. That's a bit.ly to this presentation, PDF of this presentation. This QR code takes you to the website, the Architecture Library website. Same with the bit.ly. So thanks, guys. I hope you enjoy and good luck. You've made a great choice to be here. Bye now.